So apparently this has been in the works, the remake for Black Flag. I'm kind of curious, right? Because this is not the same. This is not the same Ubisoft dev as before. You know, this is definitely a new version of Ubisoft. You know, and at the end of the day, right? It's just kind of like, you know, how much? Okay, chat. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. How confident are you guys on the Assassin's Creed Black Flags remake? How confident are you guys that this is gonna be a good, it's gonna be. There is a Tom girl. There is a Tom girl. It's the one with the short hair in that video game. Negative 100%. None. Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you guys after what's been happening so far. What, this year of Assassin's Creed, and then, I mean, not this year's Assassin's Creed, but this year of Ubisoft with Black Flags, and Assassin's Creed, and then Star Wars Outlaws, But why? But why? Sucks to say. I'd be interested to see what happens or so. I'm hoping they don't really butcher this Assassin's Creed Black Flags remake. If they, we'll see. We'll see how good it's going to come out. Will I play it? Of course I'll play it when it comes out, because I played the original Assassin's Creed Black Flags. I actually have it over there on my shelf over there, I actually do. Oh, they will fuck it up? You think so? You think they'll actually completely mess it up completely and it'll never return back to glory? Well, we'll see. Let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a look on the information on this.
We just got off stream like an hour or so ago, and of course, right then, a breaking news story hits from Insider Gaming, and naturally I want to talk about it with you and get this out before I put the big kind of comprehensive video out tomorrow morning covering the buyout potential from Tencent and this all in one go. But
now, chat, I got another question for you guys. Do you think this game will save Ubisoft? Yes or no? You guys let me know exactly what you guys think or so. Fucking bring Turok Dinosaurs Hunters back as a remake or a remaster. That'd be pretty interesting to see it as a remake, to be honest. I mean, Sony has done that with Until Dawn remake, so I am not surprised if Black Flag remake is going to be the same treatment. I wanted to, but no.
To put it pretty simply, I mean, the article just says exclusive AC Black Flag remake is closer than you think. And he outlines, of course, this is Tom Henderson, the one and only, but he outlines that he's gotten further reporting and further insider knowledge right here. When rumors of the AC Black Flag remake began to circulate on the internet, many, including ourselves, assumed that the game would still be some years away from releasing. However, new details and documentation on the game sent to Insider Gaming under the condition that it does not go public suggest that the game is well into development and could be released much sooner than we thought. Now, when this first dropped, I think like late last year, I want to say, we all just assumed, okay, so they're just starting on it now. And this, to be specific, this is coming from the team in Singapore. So this is coming from the team that did Skull and Bones. So the assumption was, okay, they finished Skull and Bones, they got that out earlier this year, and now they're like starting on the remake, and so it's still probably 3 years away or 4 years away. Apparently not. Apparently it is actually coming much sooner, and they're expecting it next year. At least they.
So basically, what you're saying to me is that they were working on the Assassin's Creed Black Flags remake, while at the same time Skull and Bones was being in development, because this is the Singaporean team that's working on this remake, apparently. I see. Interesting. I don't know about that, and especially it's coming out soon, apparently. I'm sure there's some feminist bitch added into the game. That person's gonna get rained with chaos, no different than the one individual in Red Dead Redemption. You think so?
Were before these delays. In fact, prior to the recent AC Shadows delay, which is understood to have affected the AC pipeline of content releases, the AC Black Flag remake, codenamed Obsidian, was to be released around November of 2025, which would be around the same time as the series' multiplayer offering, codenamed Invictus, which they're also slating, it's estimated probably late next year. Now,
who is asking for an Assassin's Creed multiplayer game? Who? Who the fuck is asking for an Assassin's Creed multiplayer game? Does anyone here want an Assassin's Creed multiplayer game? Like, honestly, I don't really care about an Assassin's Creed multiplayer game. Honestly, I really don't, to be honest. Like, I really don't care. But why? Though I don't care. Yeah, I know that Assassin's Creed multiplayer was a thing back in Assassin's Creed 3, but like it's just kind of like nobody really played it though. You know? I played it in Assassin's Creed 3, but like nobody really played it that much, to be honest. So it's just kind of like meh, you know?
oh, this would mean their plan was to do a single player offering and a multiplayer offering at the same time, or at least roughly close to each other, which initially you might be like, why would they release 2 Assassin's Creed games at the same time? I actually think this, if this is true, is a very, very good idea, because there's a large number of AC fans who I think, even with knowledge of things like Hexe and of course the Black Flag remake and other things they're doing, even with that knowledge, I think there's a lot of people who, when they see a multiplayer AC game, even if it's really good, will immediately be like, look what they've done. Look what they've done to our favorite franchise. Oh God, here we go. The collapse of Ubisoft, and people will lose their minds. So I think pairing it with a single player offering is actually not a bad idea. And I think there are examples of other franchises who have done similar stuff. I mean, obviously Ubisoft has done dual releases before. They did, I believe it was Unity and Rogue released almost at the exact same time, because Unity was supposed to be the next gen game and then Rogue was going to be the last gen game, so they could sell to both platforms at the same time. Unfortunately, it kind of meant that Rogue was forgotten by a lot of gamers and overlooked. And then on the flip side, Unity got so much attention because it was so rushed to hit that launch window that it like just consumed all of the discussion and
and it broke, to be honest. Like it was broken too as well.
Time. But this, I think, in concept, is a really, really good idea. Apologies if you hear a rumbling above me. That is the Roomba. She is vacuuming the floor vents above this this studio, and so you might hear an occasional brrr as she rolls over. But I think this is a good idea. If this ends up being the case, if they do launch a Black Flag remake at the same time as the multiplayer game, I think that's a great way to assuage concerns that AC is going multiplayer or Ubisoft is just trying to milk the franchise, whatever.
If the multiplayer gets bundled with Black Flags, then okay, that's fine. But if Ubisoft charges for this multiplayer game, right? They charge money for it up front, while Assassin's Creed Black Flags is also being released basically at the same time with the multiplayer. Nobody's gonna buy it. It's gonna be the Assassin's Creed remake is what they're gonna buy. Yeah. We talked about that specifically. I remember that. But yeah, at the end of the day, right? Like, there's actually no way that this is gonna be a thing, to be honest. Also, I need to fucking, on a side note too as well, I need to bring whatchamacallit, the broom over here too. I'll probably do it right after this video.
Or if you compare it with a love letter to fans and a multiplayer offering that's probably built to cash in on the franchise, let's be honest.
But remember, Assassin's Creed has always had fucking multiplayer. So this isn't the first time, but like I assume that like Not a lot of like I played it, like it was okay, but I didn't think it was that entertaining in my personal opinion. So I kind of like stopped playing it after a while, you know?
Then that could kill two birds with one stone, make the single player fans happy and keep the multiplayer fans, though there probably aren't any really actively, but at the very least it could introduce that to a a new audience, but the core audience, the old audience, will be happy. So if that ends up being the case, that I think is a really, really good idea. And if anybody at Ubisoft sees this, I'm just telling you, whether this is the plan or not, that should be the plan as far as I'm concerned. I think it will go over much better if you announce the Black Flag remake and then you announce the Invictus project and you're like, yep, they're going to come at the same time. So single player fans will have something, multiplayer fans will have something else, but everybody will be happy. Everybody's getting, dessert.
But if these are gonna be sold separately, right, instead of being together, no one's gonna buy the multiplayer. You know, who the fuck wants to get the multiplayer game instead of getting the remake for Black Flags? You know, like just like why?
Everybody's
Who would want to
getting
spend
served.
money on the
I think-
multiplayer?
oops, wrong
You know,
button. I think that's the way to do it. So I think that's a good idea. Insider Gaming understands that this is part of Ubisoft's ramp-up strategy for AC as a series, which will see around 10 Assassin's Creed games of various lengths and experiences released in the next 5 years. This includes AC
10 Assassin's Creed games in the next 5 years. Are you saying you're trying to release 2 Assassin's Creed games per year? Question mark? What?
codenamed Jade, a fully fledged mobile offering with a tentative release date in Q2 of 2025, which would be
And they're releasing a mobile game. They're releasing a goddamn mobile game. I see.
fiscal year Q1 of 2026. Now, we talked a little bit about AC Jade on the stream just earlier today. It's really bizarre. It was supposed to be out, and by all accounts, it looked really, really good, but Tencent pulled most of the team off of it to go work on their like Fall Guys spin-off. Not even spin-off, it's more of a rip-off, but they're working on that because apparently that's printing money elsewhere. And I wonder, as part of the discussions of a potential buyout, if Tencent is going to try to get lower royalty fees and stuff on that project, because I do think Jade, based on the leaked footage I've seen, I have not had the chance to play it myself, though they did do a play test, but the footage I saw just straight up looked like AC Odyssey but running on a phone. It was very, very impressive, and I'm sure it's going to be monetized impressively so as well. But
so it's basically Assassin's Creed Odyssey but on the phone. Right. Man, they sure are milking the franchise real fucking hard, to be honest.
if that footage remains and that quality remains the same, I think that actually could be a really cool thing. And I do think it'll make a crap ton of money, especially in Eastern markets like China and Japan and South Korea, where mobile gaming is much, much more common than in the US for these types of games, at least. But they have this, they have, of course, the Black...
Yeah, but those games, but on the Eastern Asian side, they usually care about anime girls, you know, and anime men, you know? So... I don't know if it would do very well in that specific market. You know, it'll probably do all right, but I wouldn't, you know, compared to some of like the heavy hitters or so when it comes to like mobile games, right? Like the gacha game series, right? They're probably gonna outsmoke fucking Assassin's Creed Jade, probably, you know, real easily.
Black Flag Remake, Jade, they have Shadows, they have Hexe, they have Invictus, they have probably a VR game or something. It's rumored they have like an AC1 remake in the works. Like there's all sorts of rumors going around of what they're working on, but it's very, very clear Ubisoft is putting all of their eggs in the AC basket because it's the one thing that so far has consistently been successful for them, which
Not for long. unless Assassin's Creed's fucking unless Assassin's Creed what's the name of that game? Shadows does fail, you know.
which which is part of the reason why the AC Shadows delay was so striking. But as you see, they go on. Unfortunately, though, the recent AC Shadows delay, which Marc Alexis Cote said to staff in an internal email, quote, will also impact the rest of the AC roadmap, end quote. And this may have skewed the release dates a little. That being said, to some, the Black Flag remake is probably coming a few years earlier than some of us may have expected. And then this is interesting. Gameplay sent to Insider Gaming of the Black Flag remake under the condition that it does not go public shows Edward Kenway sailing on a ship on the upgraded Anvil engine. And this is one thing where they're sending gameplay, and at the very least, he didn't feel the need to, I guess, like, say the gameplay looked really, really bad or looked really rough or didn't look like a big upgrade at all, what have you. But one thing that I have heard is that the new Anvil engine is meant to be scalable like this. It's meant to be able to take what you did before and then enhance it fairly easily. Now, one thing I do want to give them credit for is the game does look really good. This is footage from the Rad Brad. Sorry, my Ring doorbell's going off for whatever reason. But the game does look pretty good. Specifically, the water, I think the cloth sim on the sails, all of that is pretty impressive. This is PS5 footage that you're seeing right now, but on PC it especially scales pretty well. It's pretty graphically impressive. So my understanding is that
preparing the tombstone for a game. We'll see.
Like Black Flag thing that they have, and then they're putting it through the new Anvil machine, which is the new engine that they have. And then the goal is that the new Anvil engine can basically just upgrade individual parts of it fairly straightforward. It shouldn't require a whole lot of reinvention or rebuilding from the ground up or anything, which is good. It means that they can get it done faster, but I also think that this means it's probably not going to be that like transformative of a remake. If people were hoping that they're gonna like cut certain mission types or if they're gonna redo this or redo that, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they are making Black Flag, but it will look like it released today. It will have all of the same content, same trailing missions, same stuff like that. Combat will still be pretty clunky. You know, it's AC Black Flag. But I, as like an old school fan that grew up playing the original Black Flag, I'm okay with that, though maybe new gamers will throw a pissy fit over it. But I think if it's a remake it. I don't need it reinvented. To a certain extent, reinventing during these remakes can often, in my opinion, make things worse or lose some of the spirit of it. It's the danger with some remakes where it's just like they change too much trying to make it more modern. Even like the recent Dead Rising remake where they redid a bunch of the psychopaths to be like the one guy that's a Vietnam vet, and he talks about seeing the Viet Cong in the mall and he calls you like one of the commies or whatever when he sees you because he's having like a mental breakdown. They cut that and now he doesn't say that. It's just really, really weird, the whole thing. But anyway, that's beside the point.
I see. Yeah, might as well play the original one anyways for that game. But it's going to be like $70 price tag and not an upgrade for the game where you can set which beta participations you wanted to be in. Censorship, yeah. Is there I'm trying to remember from Assassin's Creed Black Flags, was there anything like that could be censored for the remake? Because we live in this time zone or so where, you know, they can basically, you know, like whatchamacallit, you know, kind of like remake, you know, they kind of like censor certain things or so when it comes to remakes and stuff like that. So is there anything that would be censored? Nah, it's gonna be $95 because it's so-called graphics and censorship. You think so? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'd be curious. Hey Cerberus, how you doing there, hun?
I hope that it's just a faithful remake. I don't need them to reinvent the wheel. Just give me an enhanced, improved version of Black Flag and probably don't charge $70 for it, and then we'll be happy and we can move.
Oh no, they're 100% gonna charge $70. There's no way they're not gonna charge $70. There's no way they're not gonna do it. We all know this because it's Ubisoft. Come on, guys. Let's be honest here. It's fucking Ubisoft.
Move on. But my biggest takeaway of this is it sounds like they're targeting a release window paired with Invictus. And if
I'm gonna be honest with you, like, isn't Final Fantasy VII like it's a remake, right? Isn't it a remake or something like that, right? That's the word that they use, right? Final Fantasy VII remake. But like they remade it, you know, from like the ground up and everything with Final Fantasy VII. So I'm just like I don't understand why don't they do some of that shit for Assassin's Creed Black Flags, you know? Make a remake of it. Take out certain missions, improve certain missions, bring in some new missions, you know? It's kind of like, you know,
if that's the case,
oh, I just remembered. Remember the video that we saw a while back, chat, that apparently there are certain like devs or so behind the game, right? They get promoted or they move to a different position, right? And or they're put in on a team where they don't know. Remember, like basically, like you know how like in one of the videos, right, that we saw, where apparently a dev doesn't know how an FPS player, like how an FPS game plays, right? But they put him on the team with X Defiance. So I'm wondering, right? The reason why they're using this engine, quotation marks, engine, right? This is just a theory, right? Is that they're putting it on this engine because the devs that they have at this very moment with them, of course, you know, they don't know how the original Assassin's Creed games were done or how they were made or how, you know, how it really is, you know? So I'm very curious if that's the reason why they're using this specific engine to bring in Assassin's Creed Black Flags, and they're just, you know, because there's certain devs that don't know how certain things work. So instead of actually doing an actual remake, they're just grabbing the old game, putting it in through the engine for this one, makes some things more prettier, and then just fix a few things here and there, and then voila, bada bing bada bang, you have a Assassin's Creed quote unquote remake. You know, it's not technically a remake. What is this? What would be the proper term for this? Is this like an HD like Assassin's Creed Black Flags HD remake or an HD remastered or something? Like that's what it basically is, right? Because it's not a remake. Because the word remake is basically like HD remastered. Is that what it is? Okay. So it's not really a remake. Because a remake would basically be what Final Fantasy VII did. So this is more of an HD remastered of Assassin's Creed Black Flags. That's what it is. Reimbursed. Yeah. I feel like so this is just a theory, right? This is because what we heard specifically in the past, right? That certain devs don't know how certain things work, apparently, when they're moved to a different position. Because apparently they moved one dev who didn't know how an FPS plays, but they put him on the X Defiant team. And then, well, Lord and behold, why do you think it took forever for X Defiant to come out, you know? And they never even made new maps. They never made new characters, new weapons, nothing. So, on the release date of X Defiant. So, maybe this is probably the same thing for the remake and probably the other games that are coming out in the future, too. I'd be very curious, too, because remember, Assassin's Creed had multiplayer in the past. And I'm wondering if they're using the skeleton works of Assassin's Creed multiplayer from the older games to make their new project, which is, what is it, Assassin's Creed Invictus? I'd be curious if that's what they're doing as well. And then they're just building other shit on top of that, you know? I'm kind of curious if that's what they're making. Because I'm just kind of like speculating and giving like a theory a theory about this because Assassin's Creed had multiplayer in the past, and they could take technically the codes or the skeleton work of that and put it in through the engine, right? Through this whatever the fuck the engine's called, you know? And well, Lord and behold, you have your quote unquote Assassin's Creed, you know, multiplayer game, quotation marks multiplayer game. So this is a very interesting information to kind of, you know, to kind of keep in the back of my mind or so about this, you know, moving forward with Ubisoft. Would it do competitive ACs? I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that's a great idea, and it would be a fantastic way of avoiding the drama that will come if you just announce a multiplayer offering.
Yeah, but if you think about it, right, you know, they have this engine or so that's supposed to make things a little bit better, more prettier and everything like that. So it's not out of the realm or possibilities that this could be used for it. So like I'm saying, you know,
by itself, I think you pair them. That's a great way to do it, because frankly, I'm not sure if a lot of the old school fans who love like Black Flag, I don't think many of them are going to be playing a multiplayer offering, especially based on some of the leaks around Invictus. I just don't think it appeals to them. So why not release something that they can also get a fix in, while also, you know, having Invictus and all that stuff come out? And allegedly they'll have the Animus Hub or AC Infinity or whatever they end up calling it. And that's supposed to be like a centralized hub launcher, whatever, for all of these games. So the idea would be, I assume, to release the Black Flag remake and then have tie-ins to whatever Invictus is and try to encourage people to go and try it, literally jump ship and go try something else in the AC franchise just to give it a shot, because they got this AC Black Flag fix. And maybe you make it so if you played the Black Flag remake, they get some skin or something.
not a remake. Black Flag HD remastered.
Thing in Invictus. There's all sorts of things they could do, but I think that it would be I think it's a really good idea to launch these things together if that ends up being the intention. I think that's a very, very good thought. Beyond,
I wouldn't be surprised if the multiplayer, you know, is separate from Assassin's Creed Black Flags and then they charge you for it. I would not be surprised.
On that, hearing that the remake is so much farther along kind of confirms for me
Remastered.
it's not going to be a total reinvention. This is
Sorry, I have
like
to
a
correct
Mafia
him every
Definitive
time.
Edition kind of thing. They're not going to be redoing it with like whole new combat encounters. I think it's going to pretty much be a one-to-one recreation, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay if it's a little clunky. I'm okay if it plays like a PS4 game. The only potential thing I would really like to see is seamless transitions from the sea to cities. I know it might not be that simple. I know it's not that simple. I know it's very complicated technologically to get that working because the game was built in a way where you are in the sea or you load into a city. They are completely separate. And I get that it's not that easy to just do seamless streaming into whatever city you're going to. But I think that would be really, really cool. If they did that, that would be extra bonus points for me and I'd be even more intrigued. But time will tell. Time will tell. But biggest takeaway, I'm just shocked that it's this far, I don't know, ahead of schedule, if that's the right term, but it's further than we thought it was. I thought this was 2026, maybe 2027, you know, if they delayed it again, but it sounds like they're making progress and they're pretty optimistic about it. So interesting. Can't come a minute too soon. I'll tell you what, Ubisoft needs a W. They need a few. They need a couple dozen, but this could be the start of them. Who knows? Black Flag is beloved, so if they do a good job, that would be an easy.
Yeah, but at least like Sony isn't milking the shit out of it, you know. At least this is what is this? Is this their first remastered? I don't even know, to be honest. I know they remastered their other Assassin's Creed game.
CW,
so.
But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. See you next stream. I'll be back Monday. Like, subscribe, blah blah blah. Much love.
That's interesting. That's actually very interesting, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know what I think about this, to be honest. It was Assassin's Creed 3? Okay, yeah. I want to say as someone that's recently finished Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's actually good and fun. My only complaint is in a few quests if you're playing a male character. You still get called she, but it's just a small thing. I just ignore it. I've heard a lot of people don't like Assassin's Creed Valhalla because it's not Assassin's Creed, you know? So that's the only thing. HD remastered cinematic climax, top quality graphics that will blow your mind away that the world will never have seen before in the face of Earth and all humanity golden ultimate edition. Damn, imagine they put all those words or so on the cover art for that game. Also, you forgot to add collector's edition too. But yeah, I don't know. My personal opinion, we'll just have to wait and see about this, if we'll get a trailer or so next year, maybe, about the Assassin's Creed Black Flags, HD remastered, so. Yeah, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know. I'll keep an eye out on it whenever it comes out, but the multiplayer game, I don't really care about it, to be frankly honest. I frankly don't care. Okay, like it's like I assume everyone here doesn't care about the multiplayer game. You know. It's kind of like I don't really care. I get it. Assassin's Creed had multiplayer in the past, but not a lot of people played it, to be honest. And even then, on top of that, I think it was just tacked on at the end, and it's not really that important compared to Assassin's Creed being a really good single player game. But anyways, that's the end of the video. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to take a look at this because it was kind of interesting or so about, Assassin's Creed Black Flags HD remastered. It's what it is. It's Assassin's Creed Black Flags HD remastered. It's not a remake, because if it was a remake, it would be doing the same thing as a Final Fantasy VII, but it's not doing the Final Fantasy route. It's just making it look pretty. That's it, But yeah. I only cared about Concord. Yeah, it would be from scratch, like how Final Fantasy VII Remake was. It's just basically like that, But anyways, that's it, You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Assassin's Creed Black Flags HD Remastered, They're probably going to call it remake or so when it comes out, but we all know for a fact, it's just an HD Remastered. It's not a remake. Because if they're doing, if all the missions, the controls of the fighting mechanics and the boats and everything is the same, it's 1-to-1, right? All they're doing is just making it look pretty, then it's just an HD remastered. That's pretty much it. So yeah, just like The Last of Us. Yeah, like it really looked good on the PS4. I don't know why they had to redo it again. So I'm not buying it till Ubisoft fix their shit. We'll see. We'll see what happens if they even fix their stuff. So who knows? Maybe, probably. But anyways, yeah, that's the end of the video. And I've never played Conquer before. Never have. And peace. Yeah.